Ladies and gentlemen, you see, one of the most common traps we fall into is the habit of comparison. We look at others and wonder why we aren't further along, why we don't have what they have, why our lives don't look as polished or as successful. But let me tell you something, your journey is your own. It's unlike anyone else's. And that's exactly how it's supposed to be. Embrace your unique journey. Every one of us is on a different path. The struggles you face, the triumphs you've experienced, even the things you haven't figured out yet, they're all part of the process of becoming who you are meant to be. No one else can walk your road because no one else has lived your life. So instead of looking at someone else's journey with envy or doubt, honor your own path. It's shaping you in ways that will unfold when the time is right. Recognize your inner gifts. You are filled with gifts that no one else in this world has. You have talents, insights, and experiences that are completely unique to you. And here's the thing, comparing yourself to someone else doesn't just diminish them, it diminishes you. You can't allow your own light to dim just because you're busy measuring it against someone else's. Look inward, see your own brilliance, and know that you have something invaluable to offer the world. Focus on your growth, not theirs. This life is not about racing to some imaginary finish line. It's about evolving, learning, growing. When you stop looking at someone else's race and start focusing on your own growth, you become unstoppable. Instead of comparing, ask yourself, how can I grow from where I am today? What can I do just one step at a time to move closer to the person I want to become? Don't be fooled by social media. Let's talk about the highlight reel we see on social media. You scroll through and it feels like everyone's life is perfect. But here's the truth, people only show the best parts of their lives, the moments that look shiny and polished. Behind those perfect pictures, there are struggles you can't see. Don't measure your real life against someone else's filtered version of theirs. Social media isn't real life. Practice gratitude and self-compassion. Finally, when you feel the urge to compare, shift your focus inward and practice gratitude. Take a moment to reflect on what you've accomplished, how far you've come, and all the blessings in your life. And be kind to yourself. Growth takes time, and every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Celebrate that. Celebrate you. Because when you stop comparing, you free yourself to shine. You begin to see the world through a lens of possibility, not lack. And that's when true fulfillment, true success, and true joy begin to unfold in your life. So stand tall in who you are. Own your journey, and never ever waste another moment comparing yourself to someone else. Your journey is unlike anyone else's. The path you are on, every step, every stumble, every triumph is uniquely yours. It's easy to look around and see people seemingly moving faster, achieving more, living the life you think you should be living. But let me tell you this, where you are right now is exactly where you need to be. Every twist and turn, every challenge you face is shaping you into the person you're becoming. When we spend our time comparing ourselves to others, we forget that the road we're walking is our own. No one else has lived your life. No one else has experienced your struggles, your victories, your quiet moments of doubt, or your loud moments of joy. Your experiences have been perfectly designed to mold you into who you are. And even when it feels like you're lost or behind, trust that your journey is unfolding exactly as it should. The temptation to compare is strong because we live in a world that constantly shows us the highlight reels of other people's lives. But what we don't see are the behind-the-scenes struggles, the long nights of self-doubt, the effort and resilience it took to get where they are. You have to remind yourself that their story isn't yours. What's meant for them will never miss them, and what's meant for you won't miss you either. When you embrace your own journey, you stop measuring your worth by someone else's yardstick. You start to recognize the power in your own story, and you realize that your progress, no matter how small or slow it may seem, is worthy of celebration. The things that come easily to others might take more time for you, but that doesn't diminish their value or yours. Your growth is your own, and it's happening at the pace it's supposed to. Think about all the experiences that have brought you to this moment. The lessons you've learned, the people you've met, the challenges you've overcome, they have all played a role in shaping you. Your journey is filled with moments of strength, resilience, and growth, even in the times when it didn't feel like it. You may not be able to see the bigger picture right now, but trust that every step is leading you somewhere, and that somewhere is uniquely yours. When you fully embrace your journey, you give yourself the freedom to grow without pressure, without judgment. You allow yourself to evolve in your own time, without the weight of comparison pulling you down. And in doing so, you open the door to the kind of joy, fulfillment, and success that only you can experience because it's built on your life, your choices, and your dreams. You are enough as you are right now in this very moment. Your journey is valid, no matter how different it may look from someone else's. The beauty of life is that no two stories are the same. So, embrace yours every imperfect, glorious part of it, and trust that it's leading you exactly where you're meant to go. Each one of us is born with a set of gifts, qualities that are uniquely ours, but too often we overlook them or fail to recognize their value. We live in a world where it's so easy to be distracted by what other people have, by their talents, their successes, their shine, that we forget to see the light within ourselves. But that light, those inner gifts, are what make you special, what make you stand out, and what will ultimately bring you fulfillment in your life. Your gifts may not look like anyone else's, and that's the point. They're not supposed to. You may be comparing yourself to someone whose strengths and talents are different from yours, but remember, that doesn't make yours any less valuable. Just because your gifts don't shine the way someone else's do, doesn't mean they're not brilliant. You have unique abilities, perspectives, and qualities that no one else in this world possesses in quite the same way. That in itself is powerful. Your experiences, the way you think, the way you see the world, have shaped these gifts into something completely individual. You might not even realize how special your gifts are because they come so naturally to you. Sometimes the things we're best at are the ones we overlook the most. You might think everyone can do this or it's no big deal. But trust me, it is a big deal. The very things you think are ordinary could be extraordinary to someone else. Whether it's your ability to connect with people, your creative spirit, your determination, your way of solving problems, or simply your kindness and empathy, these are gifts. These are your gifts, and the world needs them. It's easy to downplay your strengths when you're constantly looking at what someone else is doing. But when you shift the focus inward and truly begin to recognize the power within you, everything changes. You realize that you don't have to compete with anyone because no one else has what you have. Your gifts are meant for you, and only you can bring them into the world in the way that you do. That's why comparing yourself to others is not only unnecessary, it's a disservice to the gifts you've been given. The world is filled with people who are waiting for you to step into your greatness, to share your gifts, your talents, and your voice. But that can only happen if you first recognize them for yourself. This means honoring what makes you different. It means embracing the quirks, the things you might have seen as flaws or weaknesses, because often those are where your greatest strengths lie. Sometimes the very things you've struggled with, the challenges you faced, have shaped your gifts in ways you can't yet see. When you take the time to nurture and develop those gifts, you allow yourself to grow into the person you were meant to be. The more you lean into what you naturally excel at, the more confidence you gain, and the more authentic your life becomes. And the beauty of this is that when you live authentically, you inspire others to do the same. Recognizing your inner gifts isn't just about you, it's about how you show up in the world, how you impact others, and how you contribute to the greater good. But to fully recognize your inner gifts, you must also practice self-compassion. You won't always get it right, and that's okay. The journey to understanding and embracing your gifts is just that, a journey. There will be moments of doubt, moments where you might question your worth or your abilities. In those moments, remind yourself that your gifts don't have to be perfect to be valuable. They are a part of who you are, and they have immense power, even in their raw, unpolished form. So start by taking a moment to reflect on what makes you you. What are the things you do that light you up? What are the qualities people compliment you on, even when you brush them off? What are the abilities you've taken for granted because they come so easily to you? These are clues to your gifts, and they are yours to honor, to nurture, and to share with the world. When you recognize your inner gifts, you stop seeking external validation. You stop needing the approval of others because you understand that your worth isn't tied to anyone else's opinion. You become grounded in who you are and what you have to offer. You stop comparing, you stop doubting, and you start shining. Your gifts are yours for a reason. They are part of the reason you are here. So own them, celebrate them, and most importantly, share them, because the world needs what only you can bring. Personal growth is the foundation of a fulfilling and meaningful life. It's not about comparing yourself to others or striving to meet external standards. It's about becoming the best version of yourself at your own pace and on your own terms. Growth isn't a race, it's a journey. And on this journey, the most important thing you can do is focus on your own development rather than constantly measuring yourself against someone else's achievements. When you focus on personal growth, you shift your perspective from trying to keep up with others to nurturing your own progress. You stop worrying about what everyone else is doing and start paying attention to how you're evolving. The question isn't how do I compare to them, but how can I grow from where I am right now? This shift in mindset opens the door to real transformation. It allows you to move at your own pace, embrace your own learning process, and celebrate your own milestones, no matter how big or small. Growth looks different for everyone. For some, it might mean learning a new skill or developing a talent. For others, it could be about building emotional resilience, overcoming fear, or deepening self-awareness. The important thing is that you are moving forward, however slowly, however imperfectly. Personal growth isn't about perfection, it's about progress. It's about recognizing that every step, every lesson, every setback is a crucial part of your journey. Too often, we get caught up in comparing ourselves to people who seem further along in life. We look at their success and think, why am I not there yet? But what we don't see are the years of effort, the failures, the struggles that person went through to get where they are. And even more importantly, their journey has nothing to do with yours. Just because someone else is ahead in one area of life doesn't mean you're behind. You are exactly where you need to be in this moment, and your journey is unfolding in its own unique way. Focusing on personal growth means giving yourself permission to grow at your own pace. It means accepting that you are a work in progress and that it's okay not to have everything figured out. It's okay to make mistakes, to fail, to stumble. In fact, those moments of difficulty are often the most powerful opportunities for growth. Every challenge you face, every obstacle you overcome, is teaching you something, shaping you, and preparing you for what's ahead. When you stop comparing yourself to others, you free yourself to focus on what truly matters, your own development. You start to ask yourself questions like, what can I learn from this experience, and how can I become better today than I was yesterday? You start to measure your success not by external standards, but by your own growth, your own progress, and your own evolution. This is where true fulfillment comes from, not from chasing someone else's idea of success, but from continuously becoming the person you are meant to be. Personal growth is also about self-awareness. It's about taking the time to reflect on your actions, your choices, and your mindset. It's about understanding what drives you, what holds you back, and how you can move forward. This kind of introspection is essential because growth isn't just about achieving external goals, it's about evolving on a deeper, more personal level. It's about becoming more aligned with your values, more in tune with your purpose, and more connected to who you truly are. It's also important to recognize that growth isn't always linear. There will be times when you feel stuck, when you feel like you're not making any progress, or when life throws you unexpected challenges. In those moments, it's easy to become discouraged or to compare yourself to others who seem to be moving ahead. But remember, growth often happens in the quiet, unseen moments. Sometimes it's in the setbacks that you develop the most strength, the most resilience, and the most wisdom. The key is to keep moving forward, even when progress feels slow or invisible. Focusing on personal growth also means learning to celebrate your own milestones, no matter how small they may seem. We're often so quick to brush off our accomplishments, thinking they're not big enough or important enough compared to what others are doing. But every step forward is worthy of celebration. Every time you push past a fear, learn something new, or take action towards your goals, you are growing. And that's something to be proud of. Growth is a lifelong process. It doesn't end when you reach a certain goal or achieve a certain status. There's always room to grow, to learn, to evolve. And the beautiful thing is that when you focus on your own growth, you become more confident, more fulfilled, and more at peace with where you are in life. You stop feeling the need to compete with others because you understand that the only person you're truly competing with is yourself. In the end, personal growth is about becoming the best version of you, no one else. It's about continuously striving to improve, not for the sake of comparison, but for the sake of becoming more of who you were meant to be. So let go of the need to measure yourself against others. Focus on your own path, your own progress, and your own potential. Because when you invest in your personal growth, you create a life that is rich, fulfilling, and uniquely yours. Social media is a powerful tool that connects us in ways unimaginable just a few decades ago. It gives us access to people, places, and ideas from all corners of the world, but at the same time, it can be a dangerous trap that distorts our perception of reality. While it allows us to share moments and milestones, it often feeds into a culture of comparison, where we begin to measure our worth by the highlight reels of others' lives. The danger of social media is that it only shows a curated version of life, a filtered, edited, and often unrealistic portrayal of reality. People tend to share their best moments, vacations, achievements, celebrations, perfectly styled photos. Rarely do we see the struggles, the failures, the everyday messiness of life. Yet when we scroll through our feeds, we begin to compare our real, unfiltered lives to the polished versions of everyone else's. We see someone's promotion, someone's engagement, someone's perfectly decorated home, and we start to question ourselves, why am I not there yet? Why doesn't my life look like that? But here's the truth, what you see on social media is only a fraction of the full picture. Behind every perfect photo, there are untold stories. The couple with the picture-perfect relationship might be going through struggles you can't see. The person flaunting their success may have worked for years in silence, overcoming countless setbacks, none of which made it to their timeline. What we forget is that social media is a controlled narrative. It doesn't reflect the full complexity of anyone's life, yet we often fall into the trap of thinking it does. The more we consume these images of perfection, the more we begin to feel inadequate. We start to compare not just our accomplishments, but our appearance, our relationships, our entire lives. And with every comparison, we chip away at our self-esteem. We start to feel like we're not enough, that we're falling behind, that somehow everyone else is living a more exciting, more successful, more fulfilling life than we are. But this is an illusion. Social media thrives on showing the exceptional, the extraordinary, and often the exaggerated. It rarely captures the mundane, the struggles, or the hard work behind the scenes. Another aspect of the social media trap is the constant craving for validation. We post a picture, share a thought, or celebrate an achievement, and then we waiting for likes, comments, shares. In that waiting, we start to attach our self-worth to the amount of engagement we receive. If a post doesn't get as many likes as we hoped, we feel disappointed. If someone else's post gets more attention, we wonder what we're doing wrong. But this cycle of seeking external validation is harmful. It teaches us to look outward for approval instead of inward for a sense of self-worth. The value of your life, your achievements, your happiness should never be measured by likes or follows. Those numbers don't define you, and they certainly don't reflect your true worth. Another layer to this is the phenomenon of FOMO, the fear of missing out. Social media has a way of making it seem like everyone is doing something exciting all the time. You scroll through and see friends at parties, traveling the world, attending exclusive events, and suddenly you feel like your life is lacking. But again, what you're seeing is selective. Those moments are just snapshots, and the reality is that no one is constantly living in a state of excitement and adventure. Life is filled with ups and downs, with quiet moments, with times of stillness, and those moments are just as valuable as the high points we see online. FOMO distracts us from appreciating the present, from being content with where we are, and from recognizing the beauty in our own everyday lives. It's also important to remember that social media can easily distort our perceptions of success. We see someone with a big following or someone who seems to be constantly achieving, and we assume that they have everything figured out. But success, true success, isn't about followers or public praise. It's about living a life that is meaningful to you. It's about pursuing your passions, building relationships, and making a difference in ways that matter to you. Social media often skews our view of what success looks like, making us feel like we need to broadcast our lives to feel important or accomplished. But some of the most meaningful successes happen quietly, without any online recognition. They happen in the small moments, in the personal victories, in the ways we grow and contribute to the world around us. There is also the issue of comparison. Social media can make us feel like we're in constant competition with everyone else. We see someone achieving something and feel like we need to do the same or better. But the truth is, life isn't a competition. Your journey is unique, and comparing it to someone else's will only rob you of your peace. We each have our own timeline, our own set of challenges, and our own definition of success. When we get caught in the trap of comparison, we lose sight of what truly matters to us and start chasing things that might not even align with our own goals or values. Instead of looking outward at what everyone else is doing, we need to focus inward on our own growth, our own dreams, and our own progress. The antidote to the social media trap is mindfulness. It's being aware of how social media affects your thoughts, your mood, and your self-perception. It's recognizing when you're falling into the cycle of comparison or validation, seeking and choosing to step back. It's understanding that what you see online is just a snapshot, not the full story. And most importantly, it's grounding yourself in the knowledge that your worth isn't determined by what others are doing or what others think. Your life, with all its imperfections, quiet moments, and unfiltered realities, is enough. You are enough. You don't need to measure up to someone else's highlight reel to feel validated. When you step away from the trap of social media comparison, you reclaim your sense of self. You start to see your own journey as valuable, your own successes as meaningful, and your own life as beautiful just as. In the journey of life, practicing gratitude and self-compassion is an essential foundation for well-being and fulfillment. These two powerful practices not only help us navigate our challenges, but also allow us to cultivate a positive mindset and a deeper sense of self-worth. When we learn to appreciate what we have and extend kindness to ourselves, we create a transformative ripple effect that enhances our overall quality of life. Gratitude is more than just saying thank you or acknowledging the good things that come our way. It's a deep and intentional practice that requires us to shift our focus from what we lack to what we have. In a world that often emphasizes scarcity, where we're bombarded by messages telling us we need more, we need to do better, or we need to achieve more, practicing gratitude acts as a powerful counterbalance. It reminds us of the abundance that already exists in our lives. This doesn't mean we ignore our challenges or pretend everything is perfect. Instead, it means we choose to recognize and appreciate the positive aspects, however small they may seem, amidst the difficulties. When we make gratitude a regular practice, we begin to rewire our brains. Studies show that regularly expressing gratitude can lead to improved mental health, increased happiness, and even stronger relationships. When we take time to reflect on the things we are thankful for, whether it's the support of a friend, a beautiful sunrise, or simply having a moment of peace, we train our minds to focus on the positive. This practice cultivates a sense of appreciation for our lives, allowing us to find joy in the ordinary and to celebrate the little things that often go unnoticed. It's about finding beauty in the everyday moments and recognizing that even amidst struggles, there are blessings to be counted. Creating a gratitude practice doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as keeping a gratitude journal, where you write down 3 things you are grateful for each day. Or it could be a moment of reflection each evening, taking time to acknowledge what brought you joy during the day. You can express gratitude in conversations, sharing with others what you appreciate about them or about your experiences together. The key is consistency. The more we cultivate a mindset of gratitude, the more it becomes a natural part of our daily lives. Self-compassion, on the other hand, involves treating ourselves with the same kindness, care, and understanding that we would offer to a friend. It's about acknowledging our imperfections, recognizing that we are human, and that we all face struggles and setbacks. In a society that often emphasizes perfection and achievement, we can be our own harshest critics, berating ourselves for mistakes and failures. But practicing self-compassion encourages us to soften that inner dialogue. Instead of succumbing to feelings of inadequacy or shame, we learn to respond to our challenges with gentleness and understanding. Self-compassion allows us to embrace our vulnerabilities. It reminds us that it's okay to feel hurt, to struggle, or to experience setbacks. Rather than judging ourselves harshly, we can say, "This is tough, and it's okay to feel this way." We can acknowledge our feelings without getting stuck in them. This creates space for healing, growth, and resilience. When we practice self-compassion, we build a stronger foundation to navigate life's ups and downs. We become more resilient because we learn to accept ourselves fully, flaws and all. One way to practice self-compassion is through mindfulness, being present with our thoughts and feelings without judgment. Mindfulness encourages us to observe our emotions, whether they are positive or negative, without labeling them as good or bad. By becoming aware of our feelings, we can better understand ourselves and respond to our needs with kindness. When we experience difficult emotions like sadness, anxiety, or frustration, mindfulness allows us to pause and take a deep breath, reminding ourselves that it's okay to feel this way. This awareness helps us create a compassionate inner dialogue that supports rather than criticizes. Another powerful practice is to write a compassionate letter to ourselves. This letter can serve as a reminder of our worth and the love we have within us. We can write about our struggles, acknowledge our feelings, and offer ourselves words of encouragement and understanding. By putting our feelings into words, we create a tangible reminder that we are deserving of love and kindness, especially from ourselves. Integrating gratitude and self-compassion into our daily lives can lead to profound transformations. Together, they create a positive feedback loop. Gratitude allows us to appreciate our lives and cultivate joy, while self-compassion helps us navigate challenges without harsh judgment. When we practice gratitude, we find it easier to be compassionate toward ourselves, and when we practice self-compassion, we become more aware of the blessings in our lives. This interplay fosters resilience, enhances emotional well-being, and encourages us to embrace life with a sense of openness and acceptance. As we cultivate these practices, we learn to embrace our journey with grace and understanding. We start to let go of the pressure to be perfect or to have everything figured out. Instead, we celebrate our progress, acknowledge our challenges, and appreciate the beauty in our unique experiences. We begin to realize that life isn't about achieving a specific standard or comparing ourselves to others. It's about embracing the journey, learning, growing, and finding joy in the process. In a world that often feels chaotic and demanding, practicing gratitude and self-compassion becomes a powerful act of rebellion against negativity. It allows us to reclaim our power, nurture our well-being, and create a life filled with love, appreciation, and kindness both toward ourselves and others. So let us commit to this journey of gratitude and self-compassion, reminding ourselves daily of our worth and the beauty that exists within us and around us. When we do this, we open the door to a more fulfilling, meaningful, and joyful life.